Hello, Joe Hopkins. Been a CPA for 30 plus years, based here in Corpus Christi, Texas, although I got clients in 35 states or maybe even a little bit more. Today, I wanted to mention there's rumors going around Trump may abolish the IRS. Is that going to happen? Well, maybe, maybe not. What's my 2 cents on it? It's going to be a tough haul to abolish the IRS. I mean, number one, on revenue collections, we probably got $4.5 to $5 trillion worth of revenue collections that goes through the IRS every year. And so that's just one major obstacle. Well, if you get rid of the IRS, what are you going to replace it with? There's different theories out there. Some people say a flat tax. Well, flat tax, you're still going to have the IRS. You're not going to abolish it. You're just going to change it. Even that would be a monumental task politically, etc. But you'd have to go to like a consumption tax or something to replace that revenue. What would that look like? There's different models out there on what that could mean. But even then, you're still talking about an administrative burden on how that political landscape would change over time. Let me give you a little bit of a historical background. I'm going to switch gears here a little bit, but this kind of segues into, if you got rid of the, IRS, what hurdles you're going to have to overcome, because right now is probably the worst time because we are so far behind in the collection process. And so let me give you a little synopsis of how we got there. Starting in the year 2020, what happened in the year 2020, right? Well, COVID, right? How did we get behind? The IRS sent everybody home at the IRS right? They sent everybody home at the IRS for about 6 months during the 2020 year. Nobody worked. Nobody really knew how to work remotely, and they were figuring out a lot of that. A lot of IRS agents are currently working remotely until actually Trump just changed that last week, but that's a whole nother subject. So 6 months, nobody worked, nothing got done. Tax filings processing got behind severely. Fast forward a little bit, March of year 2022. The IRS was behind 20 million tax returns. Yep, that's right. There was 18 wheelers full of unprocessed correspondence, including mailed in tax returns, etc. Some of that was even payments that were still being processed manually. We're talking Ogden, Utah, Kansas City, Austin, Texas, many other processing places, the unprocessed stuff. So basically, the IRS commissioner and Congress in March of 22 said, whoa, wait a minute. Y'all are trying to collect from all these people and y'all haven't even processed all the tax returns yet and other correspondence where people have probably tried to rectify their situation and you haven't even opened up the mail yet? Yeah, that's what was happening. So they said, well, okay, turn off the collection switch, at least for now. That was in March 22. So they caught up significantly during the next 18 months. And probably caught up 90% or more. I don't know the exact number, but it was very significant. 18 months later, November 23, year 2023, they turned on the collection switch again. All right, it's back on like Donkey Kong, right? All right, they're sending out all these notices and whatever. Normally, they would send out 4 or 5 notices to clients saying, hey, they're progressively getting nastier letters, right? Well, they passed go, didn't even collect $200, sent them directly to jail almost, effectively. Being a little facetious there, but basically they skipped past a lot of the notices and would send out the CP 504 notice. What is that? That's an intent to levy notice, right? I saw a lot of my clients get directly these last minute letters, without pre-warnings along the way. Well, when you take that the CP 504 notice, that's an intent to levy, right? So they were, sending out all these notices and not having the people a chance to collect and everything. So that's been going on during the last year or so. So what you have during this time period, you have this accelerated trying to collect mode, because when you catch up on all the processing of tax returns, you're creating all of these assessments out there. Now you got $1 trillion gap on the assessments versus the collections, right? So you've assessed a lot now. Now you got to collect it. And so people are under the squeeze to get the collections done. So that kind of, my segue to that back into the original question of, can you abolish the IRS? Well, yeah, I guess you could abolish it tomorrow, but what's going to happen? You got $1 trillion out there that's uncollected. What are you going to do? You just going to send out IOU notices and hope people pay, or are you going to keep the enforcement going? Anyway, it's all, I don't want to get political on any of this, but even the right-handed conservatives would have a hard time, agreeing with trying to abolish the IRS. And I agree. No matter how you slice it, getting rid of it, it's not going to be an overnight process. I guarantee that. So I think there's some things that can be done, and I'm going off on a little tangent here. I think there could be significant changes at the IRS to make them more efficient. They're running off of 1960s technology, and that is a true statement. They're still using COBOL, the COBOL programming language, COBOL, right? A lot of you youngsters don't even know what COBOL programming language is. They got 25 different computer systems, and they don't all talk to one another. So you got all this different compartmentalization going on and everything else like that. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now, but hope y'all like the informative video. Please like and subscribe. And up here on the wall, I got my credentials at Walmart last night. Paid $9.95 for each one of them. So I'm joking. Like and subscribe. Love to see y'all soon. And if y'all have any questions, give me a call and let's talk a little bit. Thanks. Bye-bye.